Joining me now is former Minneapolis City Council member Don Samuels. Don, thank you so much for joining me today.
It's great to be with you, Brittany, and with your audience.
I'm excited to talk with you about your run. You are running again for Congress. You're running to unseat Congresswoman Ilhan Omar. But before we get into that, let's start at the very beginning. What propelled you to jump into politics?
Well, when I came from Jamaica in 1970, I was inspired by the civil rights movement, and so right after graduating, I joined the first Black Baptist church I could find, so I could be part of that movement. And when I was in college, I made a commitment I would always live in a low-income community, no matter how high I rose in the ranks. And so I've done that. My wife joined me in that after we got married 27 years ago. And because of that, we got involved in community where the needs were greatest. And my neighbors asked me to run for office after we had successfully worked together to deal with the drug dealing and the blight in our neighborhood. And they said, hey, we need somebody to represent us. We don't feel represented. And so that's how I ended up going into the city council, and then even running for mayor, and then won the school board, and a total of 3 terms in the city council and 1 on the school board.
And then let's fast forward to last year. You actually ran for this seat in the 2022 Democratic primary, but you lost by a very slim majority. What did you learn from that experience?
Well, I learned that I needed to start earlier. We only ran for 4.5 months because I got a late start. I thought somebody should step up, some current politician, and nobody did. So at the last minute, we stepped in, and so it was a very short term. So we're going longer this time. We're getting the support of people who stood in the sidelines because they thought I was crazy and couldn't win, and it was a hopeless cause. And so they're coming forward now and saying, wow, with a little more help, we can get you over the edge. And so, yeah, that's pretty much it. And I have the same team in place, so I'm inspired with the confidence of knowing that, I have the group that took us so close. And with a couple more weeks, we could have won. So we have that time in place.
Based on the numbers alone, this doesn't really seem like a hopeless cause, as some of your detractors may have said. You only lost by 2,500 votes about. So aside from starting earlier, have you changed strategies at all going forward?
Not much. We're going to pretty much stay the course. I started out at 28% name recognition in May, and the primary was in August. At the same time in May, Ilhan had 98% name recognition. And so she had nowhere to go. She was, the awareness of her was deep, and she was an incumbent. 98% of her incumbents get reelected. So for me to come that close, it means that we had the right strategy, we had the right team in place, which we still do. And we just need to work harder and do the same things well.
Like you said, she does have a 98% name recognition. She is a nationally known figure in Congress. So where exactly do your policies differ?
Yes, she's a well-known figure, but she's as well known for her divisiveness as just for anything else, more than anything else. And controversial statements, controversial positions, contrarian positions. And so I'm going to have a much more collaborative approach than she does. I have a history of collaboration. I live in the most challenged ward in the city, lowest income, but I get endorsed by the business community. I live in a racially mixed community, probably the most racially mixed in the city. And so I know what it means to bring people together across difference. In fact, my first ward configuration had literally half of the ward was white and half black, divided by the river. So, so it was even presumed that I couldn't win then because the other side of the river always produced the winner. And so I know how to bring people together. People were attracted to my message of unity and mutuality, and that is diametrically opposed to my opponent, who tends to pick a side, get her team, and go after the other side.